Now, believe it or not, despite this lush, plush, rolling countryside, we're now only an hour outside Melbourne. And the good news is that not only is this view beautiful, it's also intensely useful because it produces wine. Hurrah! We're in the Yarra Valley, in which there are over 1,200 vineyards, each with their own very separate sense of personality, each with their own identity. But coming here isn't just about wine. I think it's the most unbelievably civilised idea to be able to enjoy a bit of artistic culture along with your wine. Victoria Lynn is the director of the Tarawara Museum of Art. Let's just establish how this works, because obviously the vineyard surrounds us, stretches as far as we can see, creating all that wonderful, wonderful stuff called wine. But you are a kind of a separate entity within that?
That's correct. We're a gift by the Beeson Family Foundation to the people of Victoria. So we're a registered charity. We've been set up specifically to show modern and contemporary Australian painting.
To me, it's relatively unusual. You think of image making and installation making as being quite an urban experience. But here, these amazing, fabulous rolling landscapes.
Once you've seen the art in this museum, you see the landscape in a different way. Because the landscape, as beautiful as it is and as natural as it is of course man-made. And it's being colonised, it's being used, it's being farmed. As we've got creativity within the space of the museum, there's also enormous creativity that's gone into the landscape as we see it today.
Visitor tip: do you do the vineyard first and then the art afterwards? Is the art better after a trip to the vineyard?
Always the art first.
We've got to nourish our souls, and then we get a glass of wine.
That's correct.
I'm actually really quite excited to find out the science behind this extraordinarily lovely stuff. So the general manager of the Tarawara estate here, Simon Napthine, is going to tell me why yours is so nectar-like.
The reason why this wine tastes so great, and that's what it's all about, the fact that it tastes great, is the climate it's grown in. We're actually quite a cool climate. We'll get a beautiful summer, but we have a very cool autumn, which means when the grapes are ripening, you get wonderful cool nights, and so you get beautiful acid in the wine. You want to have that backbone and structure, you want to have that acid, otherwise the wine doesn't zip across the palate. You see how
Is that what it's doing?
Exactly.
Is it zipping?
It's zipping.
The thing that I have noticed actually about Australian wines since I've been here is that they are just so absurdly get on and drink them. Where do these grapes originally come from?
They originally come from Burgundy, Chardonnay and Pinot Noir. They're the famous grapes of that region. We planted them here on our property in 1983. So we're one of the oldest Chardonnay and Pinot Noir producers in Australia. The vine age is also helping giving that extra little bit of complexity into the wine as well.
This is very much literally the fruit of this extraordinary landscape and this extraordinary climate as well.
Exactly, and we're very fortunate here. We are blessed. It's a beautiful landscape as well.
Just down the road from Tarawara and on the banks of the Yarra River and surrounded by nature are the Yering Gorge cottages, hand-built by Ross Stevens. Let's have a bit of a cast list, a rundown of the kind of wildlife that's got its beady little eyes on us at the moment.
Well, there's a lot, Lawrence, a lot. There's eastern grey kangaroos, echidnas. We have platypus in the Yarra River here.
Yeah.
Koalas
Yeah.
in the forest. Different types of wallabies, the white-tailed wallaby. So there's a plethora of birds.
I would imagine this is the real draw for people, isn't it? To be here and surrounded. I mean, ravishing countryside, but also quite so much wildlife. It's I suppose a bit of an Australian safari.
I think so, and I think it's being so close to Melbourne, it's not a case of having to go so far out of the major cities to experience the Australian wildlife. The beauty about it is to be able to come back and spend the day in the wineries, grab some local produce, sit down with a beautiful glass of wine and watch the kangaroos bounce past you. There's nothing better.
You couldn't write it, could you? I mean, it's just the perfect end to a perfect day.